Hi everyone, welcome back to Crochet and Crime, where I crochet and I tell true crime stories. Today we'll be talking about Jonbent Ramsey. And if you don't know who Jonbent Ramsey is, she is a 6-year-old girl who was murdered in 1996. And to this day, nobody knows who killed her. Nobody has, well, there was a person that directly came forward about it, but they didn't have enough evidence. We'll get into it. But yeah, so this is part 2 of my granny square blanket, and this was what we had last time. She's looking a bit rough, but I'm sure whenever we add more colors to it, she'll look good. So I would like to put out a quick disclaimer. This story does go over pedophilia, CP, and it just gets really gross and graphic, and if you do not like any of that stuff, I suggest you click away from this video. And yeah, with that, let's get into it. Jonbent Ramsey was a sweet 6-year-old girl with a heart of gold and beauty like no other. She was known for winning 5 professional beauty pageants. On December 26th of 1996, Jonbenet's mother, Patsy, found what seemed to be a ransom note left for Jonbenet on the staircase of their home. Patsy called the police in a panic for the threats in the letter. In the note, it said that a group of individuals had Jonbenet held hostage and they wanted $118,000 in order to return her, and they threatened to kill Jonbenet and behead her if not taken seriously. Less than 8 hours later, Jonbenet was found in the utility room in the basement of their home. She had tape on her mouth and a cord around her neck, which seemed to be the reason of her passing. Her death was ruled as a homicide, and in the autopsy it was shown that she was strangled, and there was DNA found on her pajamas and her underwear. Many have theorized that the person who killed Jonbent Ramsey was someone close to the family, since the $118,000 requested was the same amount of money that Jonbenet's father had gotten as a bonus that Christmas. Some has theorized that it was Jonbenet's father himself. The pen and paper used to write the note were also found in the home, meaning that the person who killed Jonbent Ramsey was in the home while writing the note. They also found discarded notes that had misspellings of very easy words, and that there were other words that were spelled correctly even though they are more difficult words to write, and this made people believe that it was a hoax. They were saying that there was not as many individuals and that there was just a one man doing this, and there was also a suspect named Bill McReynolds, and he would visit the Ramsey family often, and he would dress up as Santa Claus for the children, and his last visit was 2 days before Jonbenet's murder. He had a daughter who went missing in 1974, and his wife wrote a screenplay about a child who was molested and murdered in a basement. Sound familiar? When Bill went under open heart surgery, Jonbenet sent him a vial of glitter as kind of like a get well Santa type deal, and Bill asked his wife that if he died to mix the glitter in with his ashes. Bill's name was cleared after they found out that his DNA was not a match to the DNA found on Jonbenet's pajamas and underwear. Another suspect was a man by the name of Gary Oliva. He lived just a few houses down from Jonbenet, and in 2016 he was arrested for CP, and in 2000 he was arrested for unrelated drug charges, and inside his backpack he carried a photo of Jonbenet. He said he carried it around so he could grieve, saying she was a beautiful child and it was a shame of what had happened. And a day after Jonbenet's murder, Gary called an old friend of his, Michael Vale, and said, quote, "I hurt a little girl, I hurt a little girl." And when asked where he heard this little girl, he said in Boulder, Colorado, which was a little strange since no one besides Jonbent Ramsey was harmed or murdered that night. People also tied this case to Gary because the same cord that was wrapped around Jonbenet's neck was the same cord that was used when Gary attempted to strangle his own mother. Yet another suspect was brought up, John Mark Carr. In 2006, a journalist contacted Carr, and for 4 years they went back and forth, and Carr confessed to killing Jonbenét. And you'd think the authorities would have been like, oh shit, jail time, no! And he even used like similar wordings to the note. He knew Jonbenet's mother's nickname, Nettie, and he used that word frequently. He called her that frequently, which, like, you'd think that he would know the family or was close to the family in any type of way, but they had no relation whatsoever. He even confessed to falling in love with Jonbent Ramsey, and he also confessed to hitting her in the head with a flashlight. Authorities tracked down Carr, and he was hiding from CP charges in Bangkok, and his DNA was no match to the DNA that was found on Jonbenet's pajamas and underwear, so they could not lock him up, even though he confessed to the murder. He confessed to it. Actual confession. And they were like, no. You couldn't have possibly done it, even though you described perfectly of what happened to her. You couldn't have done it. A DNA expert concluded that the underwear that Jonbent Ramsey had on also had similar DNA to those of unopened underwear from the same manufacturing company. So that makes every suspect that they had crossed off, since they didn't match the DNA or didn't seem liable to match the DNA, that just opened up a whole new can of worms. Like, there's no, like, new DNA on it. It's still, like, the same DNA from the manufacturers that, like, had to, like, package it and stuff like that. So there's really no solid evidence that somebody from that list. You know, all of her family members as well, some suspect that it was an accident and they staged it to be like this whole big thing where like she was kidnapped and murdered. But that's like fucked up. Like, am I making that up? Like, even that's fucked up. So, and like to this day it's still a mystery of who killed Jonbent Ramsey. I am not going to give my personal opinion here, but I do think that there is this specific person who did it, but I don't want to say any names, because first off, I don't want to get sued, and second of all, I don't want to get sued because I don't have money. Okay, I prefer to avoid the drama than be in it. So yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna finish this up and I'll be right back. Right, I'm back. Sorry for the weird camera angle. I'm charging my phone and she does not want to stay put. So, I'm actually very happy because it's starting to come together a little bit. Yeah, look it, sexy. Anyways, I was just gonna say that honestly it's coming together a lot better than I wanted it to, and I'm happy about that. I thought it was gonna be a very small blanket, but we pulled through, and look at her, she's glowing. It looks very rough in the back, but she looks beautiful like this. Still a little puffy, but I'm sure it'll all fold together. It's gonna be fine. My voice is cracky, I don't know why. I'm not getting sick, I think. I don't know. Anyways, thank you all so much for listening to this story. It was crazy, it was sad, and I hope they find whoever killed her, okay? Because honestly, this story is just crazy. There's like a lot of suspects that like directly go to Jonbenét, and then like there's some evidence that like cuts them out completely. It's a whole mess and a whole web of crazy crap, and it hurt my brain to research this. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching. If you liked it, make sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe. Share with all your friends, share with all the demons in your closet. And yeah, I hope to see you guys next week for part 3. And hopefully that's the finale. But I don't know, because I would have to prep. And I procrastinate. Let's hope I don't do that. I don't know why I'm whispering. But yeah. I might not. Yeah. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day or night. And I hope to see you guys next week. Bye.